Go ahead, press. Rellism Sports Talk back at you with my brother in the house right now. Episode 99.
99.
So you know what 99 is close to.
99 problems.
But 100 ain't gonna be none, because we're gonna be at O'Neill's in Harrisonburg, Virginia, 7:45 live.
Full involvement, crowd
Yo,
involved.
we want it all. I want everybody hooping, hollering. If you can't make it, you get on the YouTube channel, and we got a live stream, talk some stuff. I'm gonna have somebody out here talking about what y'all say, and then we'll crush y'all.
We open to opinions.
We like opinions. We like debating. You know what I'm saying? I won't cuss you out when I first meet you, but when you get on the show, I might. Anyway, big ups to my moms right behind me. Love you, moms. Anyway, Derrick, what's good, baby? The finals are tomorrow night, man.
Bro, big game.
Game 6. Here we go. Everybody was counting up the Celtics, and Steph and them boys came back. Warriors up 3-2 right now. The biggest reason that it's 3-2 Celtics, in your opinion, is what?
I think the Celtics didn't, opportunity knocked. They answered the door, but they didn't let it all the way in. You didn't play to the strength. You didn't play up on the fucking D. Oh, sorry, my bad. You didn't play up on the D. You ain't playing your game. You a big man game, and you out here playing a shooting game.
Yeah, you ain't gonna shoot against the best shooters. I mean, what they say, it's the best shooting backcourt ever in history, and Steph's the best shooter ever. How you gonna play their game? I agree completely with that. I completely agree. So I look at it as the experience, because I won't talk about the refs first, because people are gonna dog me about the refs, because everybody knows that I want Boston to win. But because Jason Tatum's my dude. But the experience of the Golden State over the Celtics, I think it's shown its light a little bit.
Well, the depth is showing. I mean, your bench depth, you're there. You've been there before. You got a little bit of depth. Boston's playing to what Boston has, which is a starting five with really no six man to come off it. And
nobody thought about the little white dude out there, or whites, or none of these guys. Right. I agree with that. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, if you're the Celtics right now, you got to look at what you can do to Golden State, and that's basically just point them to death. Like, you have to play game 6 like it's game 1. You have to play up. You can't get into the hype. You can't feed into, okay, we got to win this. I think that you have to just sit up there, play to the big man game, let them shoot out there on that 50% 3 line, and then get down low, get the rebound, come down and hit 2s. That's all you got to do.
I'm with you with that too. I be screaming at the TV all the time. I'm like, stop chucking up 3s.
And also, I mean, but we, like you talking about the refs. I mean,
we're going to talk about the refs, because I will bring them up.
Go ahead. What you got?
Every game in Golden State has been problems. Boston's not a team that complains. They don't get technical fouls, much less their coach get technical fouls. He's got 2 technical fouls in 3 games in Golden State. I don't care what anybody says. They got stuff on YouTube, all these different little plateaus about the black dude that's the referee. And it's something going on with the referees. Well, something going on.
You don't have the stardom there. I mean, like, obviously, it's kind of like a little bit of that Jordan, LeBron, Kobe effect. You're going to get that call with Steph Curry, with Clay. You're going to let them get that call because they've got that stardom. I mean, are you really...
Tatum's not a star? Tatum's my dude.
I just don't think that, like, Boston has that player effect where you're going to gain the momentum for, like, I mean, the refs are human. It's a crowd sport. They're human. They're going to feed off of everything that's happening in the game.
I agree completely, because if Boston were to win this series, Tatum might not win Finals MVP. It might be Jaylen Brown. But going to it though, Tatum. We talk about Tatum. Tatum's my guy. Everybody knows he's hurt. He's being aggressive, but he's complaining so much to the referees. Now I look at it like, is he complaining too much?
Yeah, it's going to play against you. I mean, if you're sitting there in somebody's ear all day complaining, they're going to get tired of you, and they're going to start calling against you because they're just tired of hearing you, be a baby about it.
Especially if you're young and you ain't really done that yet.
You don't have that effect. Again, the stardom effect. It's a the boast. Like, if Curry comes over and he's complaining, they're going to be like, oh, well, let me, handle this guy with a washcloth and a diaper.
I think the biggest example is Draymond Green. This dude's an irritant doing some semi-illegal stuff, but the referees be loving him. They'll give him a once in a while, but he be doing some stuff that he should be out of the game.
But you letting him play to his game, and that's a ref
letting
him play his game.
That's his game.
Tatum, if your game is your game, play to it. Don't complain about it. Let them see what your game is.
Exactly. You in my head, baby. You in my head. I love that shit. I love that shit.
A little bit of family, you know.
But my thing is, Jason Tatum needs to stop talking like you said. Stop talking. Be a playmaker like you're doing. Don't worry about the critics saying what people say. And be aggressive. If you don't get the foul call, so what? So what? The more you do that, then you'll start getting those fouls called.
Quiet assassin. That's what you need. Yeah, that's what you need to be. I mean,
we got the babyface assassin and Steph Curry. Now he can be the quiet assassin.
I mean, but you know, like I will say, like Boston, like I said, they don't have that 6-man. But you're right. You got White. I mean, there's some guys that have stepped up into play. But you need to play to the game. Don't complain to the ref. You know, let it all show out. If you're not getting if you're not getting a call, there's nothing that you're going to say that's going to change that, because more you complain, you're going to continue to not get the call. I think, you know, I don't know. I mean, at that point, it's either that and let Draymond do his thing. Let him foul the shit out of people. Let him hurt.
And he's fouled out twice this playoff.
I would let him completely foul out.
Me too. I want him off the court. I want him off the court if I'm Boston. But so we looking at it as far as coaching. You brought it up earlier. The coaching, we said what? We don't want to outshoot you, Golden State. That's like me and you going out for a race. I'm not trying to race your ass. I know you're going to win. So I'm going to say, let's play half court. Let's play half. I need some kind of event. Boston is playing right into Golden State's hand by chucking up threes. What happens when you shoot a three and you miss a long rebound? What happens to Golden State? They run down the floor. And they
got the mouse in the house. I mean, you've got Clay, you've got Curry. These guys can run all over you. You're better off playing them down low. Let them shoot, and you get the rebound. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And even if they get the rebound, turn around and force them to shoot again.
And what happens, like you said, mouse in the house? What happens when you force them to play defense? Al Horford is playing against Klay Thompson. Al Horford should be down in the paint, posting up. Everybody, the games that Boston's won, they posted Steph Curry up, banging on him. That takes your legs out. He's not gonna be running around trying to get points all the time.
Or set 2 to 3
when you let him play defense.
Set 2 to 3 in the paint and like quit collapsing on the drive. Quit collapsing three. If Curry's gonna
drive, why? They're gonna do what?
They're gonna kick it back out.
Kick it out.
Or it's gonna force them to work for the ball because you're wearing their legs out. I think you're better off to play to your ball. They're gonna run up and down the court on you. You're better off to just, you know, save your energy and then, you know, okay, they got 2 points.
So what? Yeah, like we talked about it before. If Steph Curry's gonna do all this dribbling, cross somebody up and go inside and make a floater, which he still might miss. Okay, so what? He used a whole bunch of energy to get 2 points.
But I think that goes back to Boston losing control. You're talking coaching. As a coach, you've lost control because you're allowing your players to feed into the emotion. Yes, Curry hit a three. You don't need to run down and try to match that three. All you need to do is slow the game down, bring the ball down and work yourself into that inside, play to the big man. And, you know, yes, you do need to have a shooter on the outside, but it's better off to hit two. Would you want a 50% three, or would you rather have 80% two?
Yeah, I want 80% twos all day. But all day long.
But Boston's coaching.
Especially against it. And speaking of coaching, and we talk about it all the time, is it age or stage for Boston? I know they're young. Or is it the stage of being in the finals so they finally got over the hump? Because don't forget, the coach for Boston, this is his rookie year. He's been an assistant. But it's his first year. Steve Kerr's been there. Steve Kerr's won his 3 rings.
But that shows that you've lost control with your age to the coaching. You're allowing your players to dictate the movement of the game instead of you being a smart coach and choosing your plays correctly. Let's talk about subbing. Do you want to jump into Boston subbing? Do you think that was correct subbing?
No! You cannot take out Williams, not Marcus Williams. I'm talking about the big boy Williams. He needs to play in Tatum. They cannot be out at the same time. They can't be out at the same time. Period.
Right.
Look at Grant Williams. If you can play Grant Williams, Tatum needs to be playing with him. And they should know this, though. I don't understand how all these games are similar. They're all similar.
I think it's
Boston fucks up. Excuse me. This is a Rellism show. Sorry. They mess up so much because why? They turn the ball over. Stop being so anxious and run your sets.
Because you're playing into Golden State's game. You're trying to play into a rush game. Golden State, I think, could not play down to a slowed down pace. If you're Boston right now, I hate to say it, You got to go back. You got to dig back. You got to dig back old school Spurs. You got to go.
He played for the Spurs. The coach played for the Spurs.
You got to dig back to old school basketball. Fundamental.
Why not? With that lineup, do it.
Yes.
With that lineup you have, do that. And you got White who played for the Spurs also.
And you're going to be better off at moving the ball around, moving inside. Yes, you are going to have them shooting threes, but quit trying to match their energy.
So what? Don't match them.
And like you're saying, leave Tatum in. Look at your sub, match their subbing when they are pulling the people that like when they pull Curry, go ahead and pull a little bit, run your guys and give them a break.
Exactly. But somebody that's following Curry, let him break too.
Right. Let him break
too.
But their sub, they just don't make sense across the board.
And I don't know if it's like I said, these are NBA people, whatever, they know more than we know, but looking at it, we'd be like, yo, don't get caught up in watching the game, coach the game. You know what I'm saying? Look for your mismatches.
Well, all right, let's flip it a little bit. Let's quit riding Boston's coattail. Let's talk about what Golden State's doing right here. What is Golden State?
I'm looking at Steph right now, and Steph won their inaugural All-Star Game MVP, the Kobe Bryant, brand new, beautiful award for Kobe Bryant right there behind between of us. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, to go. Anyway, then he also won the inaugural Magic Johnson Western Conference MVP award. He's never won a Finals MVP. This is his shot to cement his legacy because I love Steph Curry. I got a jersey. I love their team. But I'm going to be real. Like, when he won his ring, it was because LeBron's team got all hurt. Kyrie was hurt. Kevin Love was hurt. And then when he won the other two, Kevin Durant was the MVP and on that team.
But I think you're taking away from the factor that I think Curry is. I mean, look at his numbers in the finals. I mean, this dude puts up points.
Now he does.
I mean, he was going into this like what, 26 points a game.
But
finals. I mean, the
guys watching him during these finals, people said that he was not living up to expectations.
I think what they're doing right now is, yes, Curry's on the attack. I think where they could pull up a little bit, like we talked about, you and I personally, Clay was hurt. I told you, which I called, first two games, I think they were kind of saving him a little bit. But I think right now for them to, solidify this, there needs to be a little bit more ball movement. Don't put it all back in his court, but like doing it right. I mean, these guys are literally doing it right. They're playing to their game. They're playing to the atmosphere. They're playing the hype. I mean, they're playing to a championship level.
This is perfect for Steph Curry. Perfect.
Right. Yeah.
Since minutes, like the only thing I could think of that would make this sweeter for Steph was if they played the Nets in the finals, because then you beating Kevin Durant, who won 2 Finals MVPs on your team. And then you're beating Kyrie Irving, who hit the game-winning shot with LeBron to beat you for Cleveland's first title. And for them to beat them, I think that would have been perfect. But this is still good for him.
I think it's
still good for him.
I gotta disagree on the Nets. I think it's a little bit of age. I think a better matchup, if it could have been kept together like the past 3 years, I think Milwaukee would have been a better matchup for them.
Milwaukee.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
As far as like, just the aspect of how fast the game moves, you know what I mean?
I'm just talking about as revenge for Steph.
Yeah.
Because he lost a title to Kyrie shot.
Yeah.
He won 2 rings with Kevin Durant, which he won Finals MVP, not Steph. So to go beat both of them and win Finals MVP, I feel like that would have been like.
So, all right, if he wins final MVP, right? If they win this series, do you think he solidifies himself next to Kobe, Magic, Jordan? I mean, LeBron. I mean,
they already talked about him in he would get 4 rings.
I mean, his percentage is higher. I mean, the guy scores. Do you think that is it because he's not as dynamic? He doesn't have the stardom like we talked about?
He is dynamic, though. Here's my thing. When we start comparing the best ever and all these type of things, Steph Curry he's changed the game. Just like Wilt Chamberlain changed the game. He changed the game. But when I try to compare him to other stars, he don't play defense.
Mouse in the house, right? You're right.
He don't play defense. So when I started looking at like Kobe, Michael, even LeBron for that matter, I just can't put him there. We had some people in the Raw episode, which I'm going to grill y'all on Saturday night at O'Neill's live in Harrisonburg, Virginia, this Saturday night. Thank you, Ashley, Amanda, your whole family for setting it up for us. Appreciate you guys. Hopefully everybody can be out there to support. But he don't play defense. Is that his game? I mean, I don't think that's his game. He doesn't have to play defense to solidify the fact that he is the best offensive player and he still wins a championship. Hold on, best offensive player where?
I think at this moment in the game, I'm not going to go like old school. You know,
hold on. You said right now he's the best offensive player in the NBA.
I mean, is anybody else in the finals?
That's gonna be it. Yo, that's gonna be a big time storyline for Raw on Saturday on Neos. We got to talk about that because that's a good debate.
I mean,
is he the best scorer? I would still lean to Kevin Durant because of his size and stature, and you can't block his shot.
But you're also talking Durant's on a downhill slide of his career at this point.
He's the same age as Steph.
But I mean, you look at just injury, movement across the board. Steph hasn't had to move. He hasn't had to change his game to any other organization. This guy has literally stayed where
and I appreciate that. And I
100%. I'm not.
And that's why I love Golden State and Boston because their stars, their trio of stars, were drafted there. It's not no built team. It's not no, hey, come join me. Let's kiss and hug. No. They said, we're going to take Golden State, who wasn't really nobody. I mean, they weren't nobody.
Relevant. They weren't relevant.
You know what I'm saying?
Now you see all these fans.
And now you see all these. I got a jersey though, but yeah.
I mean, you can respect the player, but you see all these fans. And like, I will give it to Boston. We go back to the old Boston team. There's a bunch of retread players. These guys have found the formula to literally take team players and produce them into an actual team. There's no superstar. Like, all right, Curry, yes, superstar. I'm sorry, let me take that back.
Sure.
But he's not a standout.
He you don't think he is now?
He's a team player, though. The dude.
Now you backtracking. You said Curry was up there.
Yeah. But what
you sound like Tommy doing some shit like that. If y'all don't know Tommy, you gonna meet him on Saturday at O'Neill's.
Anyway, what I'm saying is my man has the ability to move the ball around. He's not taking it to the rack every time because he knows he can't take it to the rack because of his size. He's an outside shooter. Yes, he's changed the game. You and I have talked about this. I'm so tired of seeing players shoot from half court on.
But that's Curry, though.
Right. But, I mean, the guy doing what he does, I do think that he solidifies himself as a finals player. I think he's playing to his game. I don't think he has to play defense. I'm not wavering on my stance on the guy. I'm not a fan either way of this, I mean, I got to respect Boston for what they do as far as buying retread players, drafted players, and producing a team. Curry, yes, is a star, and he stayed where he's at. But, the guy's playing to his game. I mean, he's,
I feel it. But Boston, the last time they won a championship was by building a superstar team. They were the first team doing all this that Kobe actually eliminated in the finals and won a ring and made LeBron change teams. But anyway.
So let's move it along.
But Boston drafted all their players. They drafted all their players. And we're talking about things we're building Curry up like if they won. What if they lose? They're up 3-2 right now. I've already said that he hasn't done anything yet by himself without some help. When he won his first ring, the teams he played were all hurt. And then LeBron lost Kyrie and Kevin Love. And they won. But then when Kevin Durant joined them, when they had the best record, beating the Bulls record for most wins, then Kevin Durant wins Finals MVP twice. He hasn't had that signature moment of saying, it's my team, it's my shit, I'm doing my stuff. This is his opportunity. But if you lose.
All right. So if they lose, which I don't think Boston wins this next game because they're not playing like we talked about the coaching aspect, the favors back in Golden State.
Right.
But if they lose, do you think Curry has that gene in him to take it to this game? Game 7. Do you think he has it to pull up?
All I'm saying is if they lose game 6, the pressure will show on Curry more than anybody else because I've seen him in the playoffs doing this. Remember, game 7 when they played, how many turnovers did he have? Multiple games when they blew it. That's what he's known for. That's why LeBron always gets the headache when they lost to Dallas.
Yeah.
LeBron has done all these things. When they lost to Dallas with Dirk Nowitzki as their star player, with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh and all them, he's going to be ridiculed for that forever. When they beat the Spurs because Ray Allen hit a 3, he missed 2 free throws before that. He's going to get ridiculed. Steph is in the same boat as that, in my opinion. I feel like he has to win this game and show out because last game, he had no threes. They had a bad game and they still won.
But you also had to pull up from the team around him, which makes Golden State deadly. I mean, these guys, like we talked about,
yes.
23, 15. Boston has not matched that kind of scoring.
We're talking about stars. He's talking about cementing his legacy. when we say, hey, when it was 2-2, the next game matters a whole lot. Because what, 70% of the teams that win game 5 win that series. He had no threes and a horrible game. If you don't have another good game in game 6 and Andrew Wiggins stars, he might win finals MVP.
Really?
I'm just saying, Andrew Wiggins. Andrew Wiggins is a guy that I'm talking about and I want.
But I mean, MVP also too, like how many times, I feel like that's like a whole political game.
But not the finals MVP, maybe regular season. Yeah, because Kobe got cheated out of 5 of them.
We'll see. I mean, all right, so let's game 6, we're going back to TD, right?
Yeah.
We're going back to TD. Do you think that they can handle that kind of crowd?
Here's my thing. The coach for Boston already said, we're going to finish this in Boston. I think that was the dumbest shit that he ever said in his life. Because you got Boston feeling weird. They've never lost 2 in a row in this whole playoffs. You got them down, doubting themselves. Now you're going to say some stuff like that on a Boston team. Don't forget, guys, who swept Vegas's favorite, Kevin Durant and the Nets and them. And then they went to the defending champion and my player for best player in the NBA, Giannis. They went game 5 and lost in Boston and was down 3-2. And then won 2 straight in Milwaukee and then in Boston for game 7 to beat the defending champions and the best player in the league after blowing game 5 like they just did. And then you go play the number 1 seed and you have a chance to win it in game 6 and you lose at home. Then you go to game 7 on the road and you beat the number 1 seed. This team is battle tested. Everybody thinks Boston's over. I'm calling it right now. Boston will win game 6 and then they will win game 7 in Golden State. And Steph Curry's going to get ate up by me. And Jason Tatum at 24 years old.
Oh, those are big.
3 conference finals in 4 years. And now an NBA finals at 24 years old will cement his legacy. Whether he wins finals MVP or not, because Jaylen Brown's been playing well, doesn't matter. If he beats that resume of talent at 24, going forward his career, it's going to matter so much.
Big predictions right there.
I'm full of big storylines.
I like it.
I
like it. I'm going to go against you though.
That's
I'm
fine.
going to say, like, look, everybody wants the underdog. Everybody wants to see Boston do this right now. That's not a Golden State fan. That's not riding the bandwagon. I don't see it. I think we go to game 6. We're in TD Garden. It's a tough thing, but I think I think Clay show out. I think Boston gets nervous and they play into Golden State's game.
It could happen.
And I think that's it. I think that's the wrap right there. I don't think Boston has the age on them, and I don't think the coach has control to handle it. So I like your prediction. I want to see it happen, but I'm going to go opposite. And say,
and you know what?
You
know what bothers me the most, Derrick?
What's that?
Is that Steph Curry did not make a 3 last game, and he played an awful game. Because every ounce of his body's like, I'm going to destroy these.
And how is he going to come back? I mean,
that's what I'm saying. I'm like, oh my God, why didn't you have a 40-point game and win? You had a horrible game. He's going to come out ready to hunger. And if he destroys them next game, he's going to submit a legacy. That's going to be good for him.
I like it. Let's see where we stand with it. We'll do a little, we'll talk about it Saturday, but I'm going to go
Saturday. If we talk about it Saturday, it means it's going game 7.
I mean, we can
it's
talk
a hard
about it
game.
I know, but we can talk about
it. Well, we're going to talk about the whole.
Yeah.
But I would love to talk about the game on Saturday for Sunday's game 7. That would be amazing.
As a fan, I'd love to see game 7. We always want to see it go deep. You always want to see it be a challenge. And I appreciate this championship for not being a sweep, which everybody predicted. Like they thought Golden State
it would be a sweep.
Everybody thought Golden State was going to go in there and handle it. But also, there was a lot of bandwagon favorite on that. You've seen the lines,
right.
The lines have jumped so much. I mean, at least I'll give them respect. The overs have been ridiculous, like 209, 210, like that. These guys have been playing, but let's see what happens.
We're gonna have a segment on here with Derrick. This guy knows his number lines. He knows all this stuff. We're gonna have to have a little segment.
We'll have to get in some betting.
He's gonna have to come up with a whole segment. Hess and his money line or some kind of funny shit, just like we do with Swole Daddy with EFC, which we will talk about in a minute. But yeah, man. So I say Boston at 7. He's got what you got? Golden State at 6 or 7?
I got Golden State at 6.
He says Boston will lose tomorrow at home. Because Boston is 6-5 in Boston.
Yeah,
they're not doing good at home.
They're road playing great.
They're not doing good at home.
I mean, let's just say I just think that the age, like you talked about, I just don't think the coaching has control. I don't think the subs are going to be right. And I think they're going to, like you said, Curry's going to come in there like, wow,
he's going to be pissed.
And you're going to play into that energy. Every three he hits, I guarantee Boston's going to run back down and try to chuck.
And that's their problem, That's their problem.
We'll see.
So we'll see. It should be an interesting game.
We hope.
I'd love to see us call a game.
Just comes out there and just beats the hell out of people.
I mean, Draymond Green's been beating everybody. They ain't calling shit. I don't understand it. I don't understand how this keeps going on. But what I don't understand is how nobody's talking about Andrew Wiggins. I talked about him before the series started till now. This guy is something special. And with LeBron talking about he's not expected to sign this extension with the Lakers, I'm like, because they already talked about Wiggins and Clay and something else for LeBron. I'm all for it.
You think that's the move?
I'm all. Why not? LeBron's old.
I mean, I think, yeah. I mean, he's at the point, like, I think he's trying to just wait to see what's going to go on with him.
I hate LeBron.
Yeah, I'm not going to get into that debate. We all have that debate. I think the guy's a good player, but
he is a good player.
I think he makes moves that are best for him. But I think LA I don't think they'd be hurt by getting, picking up some better players. I don't think that they'd be hurt by
if you're going to give me Wiggins and Clay, because Clay's going to be better next year.
So where does LeBron go after that?
LeBron goes to Golden State. He wants to play at Golden State.
So you just chasing a ring at that point.
But that's why he's a punk ass.
And I think that goes back to what we talked about Steph. Maybe
he's a punk.
So you going to play with Steph now.
And so if Steph and them don't win, if Steph and them don't win,
he re-signs with LA.
If he don't win and LeBron goes to Golden State, it's just like when Steph and them lost to LeBron for his one ring against them with Cleveland. And then Kevin Durant left and went to their team.
Ooh.
So Steph's going to have Kevin Durant, who I think is the best player in the NBA right now behind Giannis. And now you got to have LeBron join your team.
I just don't.
That's going to make Steph Curry's legacy go even further down.
I don't think there's going to be that kind of move. That's just too big. That's too big.
I mean, is it?
It's way too big to get Durant.
Why?
To get Durant, you'd have to get
not Durant, LeBron.
Oh, you want to get LeBron to Golden State?
LeBron wants to play at Golden State. He talked about it on his show.
Ooh.
He wants to play with them, and they were talking about trading Andrew Wiggins and Klay Thompson.
Do you trade Klay Thompson, who is a perfect match to Curry?
But is he?
I think 100%. I think they match each other directly.
Could Jordan Poole take that role?
Poole's been showing out a little bit recently.
I'm just saying, could he?
He's just not that guy.
Is he younger? Not hurt?
Yeah. But I'm just
saying the organization is smart. I feel like they're the Patriots organization. They find pieces and they make moves and they do certain things. And I feel like their organization is smart.
If I'm Golden State, from like a fan style, no, you don't get rid of Klay. You know what I'm saying?
But why?
I mean, the guy literally, if Curry has an off game, there are times where this man steps up. You know what I'm saying? Let's look at
LeBron wouldn't show up.
Let's look at game 3. We talked about game 1 and 2 where he was hurt, and I told you he's being held back. He's trying to wait to see where we're at with game. They know they got a little wiggle room because they're that good of a team. Game 3, what happened?
He did okay. I mean, he did fine. He did all right. But as a fan, if you're a fan of Golden State and they said you can have LeBron James play with Curry, what would they say?
How does that matchup happen, though, as far as does LeBron fit their scheme? And he does.
Of course he does, because he passes the ball well. LeBron James, if he would have started as a point guard, he might have been one of the best point guards ever.
I mean, maybe we'll see. I don't know. I say it's big moves that never happen. I don't think LeBron moves to
He wants to go to Golden State.
He may want to do a lot of things. I don't think Golden State's going to want that headache. I just don't think they do. And I don't think you give up. If Golden State wins this championship, would you be the type of person to move any of these players? I think you stick with this team.
If you feel like Clay's on 100%, and Wiggins is going to be a free agent, you have to pay Wiggins. So if you're going to pay Wiggins,
I think Wiggins is your move out, but you don't get rid of Clay.
But what I'm saying is, if you can get rid of Wiggins instead of paying Wiggins, you get LeBron instead. I can see why they would think about it.
I bet LeBron would take a pay cut to go there too.
Well, of course he would.
Just to chase a ring.
He's trying to get the 5.
Yeah, I mean, well,
that means both of them are trying to get the 5.
We could go down that rabbit hole about chasing.
It don't matter what they do; they can chase all they want to because 2-4 is the one, so it doesn't matter.
All right, so moving on, let's talk about the Klay Thompson impersonator.
Yeah, yo, if y'all haven't seen it, My man's name is Dawson Gurley, not Ty Gurley. Dawson, not Docs. Dawson Gurley. He showed up. Apparently, he's a YouTuber. I ain't never heard of this dude. But hey, if you hearing this, Dawson Gurley, hit me up, yo. You can be on the show. Anyway,
my man made it. My man made it in.
He was on the court for like 10 minutes shooting around. The only reason why they figured out that he wasn't because he kept bricking shots and he missed a layup.
Banned for life from
but he
any
went through,
event.
If you look at his Twitter, he said he went through 3 sets of security guards and they all let him through. And then blame the incompetence on the security guards. Like, why y'all banning me? Get rid of your scrub security guard.
So let me play you back a little bit. Like this goes back to him, like the people running on the protests on the courts. Like, you know, are we ruining the game with these kind of shenanigans as fans? You know, are you ruining the game? Like, why are you trying to do this? Yes, okay, you proved a point. They let you in. It was funny, but like you're ruining things. You know what I'm saying? Like you're making a mockery of the game with this kind of stuff.
And before that, that's scary to me.
Oh, that could have.
If you could get on the court like that, you could have done some deadly shit if you wanted to.
Imagine if he was crazy.
That's what I'm saying. It could have been some bad stuff that happened right there. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's funny hindsight because nothing bad happened. It's funny how this guy, but suppose he have shot the whole first row and Steph Curry.
I mean, you can blame it on security, but I mean, these guys are not like federal security guys.
Exactly.
I mean, these guys are just literally working at a convention center. You know, like if.
Seeing billions of people coming in.
Right. If it looks like, if it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it's a duck.
It's a duck. Exactly. I agree.
I mean, but it was, I'm not gonna say I didn't laugh at it. The dude,
because nothing bad happened.
Nothing bad happened. But he banned for life, bro. Banned.
But he don't care.
Yeah.
Because he can put it on his social media platform like, I'm the guy that got on the court.
But you wasted your platform for 15 minutes of fame. Now you'll never get.
Apparently, he's a famous YouTuber. Apparently,
I've never checked.
And now you know what he said on his Twitter. They said, was it worth it to get banned? He said, hell yeah, I was an NBA ball player for 10 minutes. Who can say that? I can't say that. I can't touch the goddamn net and shit. But I seen this guy dunking on motherfuckers, falling over, all kinds of shit.
But yeah, I mean, what I gotta laugh at is not even security guard. Like, how did the team not look at this man and be like, "You're supposed to be?
You're not him.
Yeah, you're not him."
How does that happen? Because they already think about trading him to the Lakers. That's why.
Maybe we'll see. We got to see big things.
We're gonna see. But look, that's our. We just ran for 30 minutes already. Just talk about the basketball. That's okay. We'll save the football for Saturday and everything else. But let me ask you one question real quick.
What's up?
About this UFC, yo. The last pay-per-view. I know Swole Daddy's got something to say about it on Saturday.
Swole Daddy and I watched.
What's up with Yuri? Yuri made my man tap out first time in history.
So I think it was a great fight.
It was. It was better after the second round, though. Yeah.
I gotta think that was age versus skill.
It was age.
But I'm not taking anything away from the new champ. Yes, my man's is a samurai. His game was tight. He hung in there. But I think it was just a little war of attrition. You know what I'm saying? I think like you just saw a little bit of age clash.
Right.
He's a little younger, kind of went through.
So here's my question to you, because you got me in the UFC. This is the dude I talk about on my show when I say my brother got me in the UFC. Anyway, so I'm watching the fight and I'm like, it started off like he was dominating, but my man, the old dude, the champion, was coming back hard.
Right.
Never been tapped out or nothing. If he doesn't tap him out, it was like 15 seconds left. If he doesn't get him to tap out, what's the decision going to be? Because you always said the champion usually wins the decision.
So, and we've seen a swing on that recently where the champion doesn't get the decision. Now, I will say this. I think the champ was a little bit outstruck, a little bit outclassed when it comes to the age. I think he's still deadly, much respect to my man. He's like, 42 out there holding a UFC belt. And he's been fighting since way back, kind of made a great comeback into his career. But, I think with Yuri was just a little bit of age, a little bit of domination in the ring, a little faster. He was definitely confident in there. And I think, the submission was just a wear down on, he was tired. You know what I'm saying?
Because you couldn't see it because he was battling. It could have went either way in the last 3 rounds.
The whole card was good. Fight 1 to the end was good.
The Chinese girl, I'm calling it right now.
Zhang Weili.
Zhang Weili is my girl. She will win the belt Rose is going to get a title rematch against her when she's beat her twice.
I think
she will beat Rose.
I think Zhang Weili, seeing her Saturday, she's back for blood. She
back.
Looks like a different fighter. She's thicker, she's stronger, she's faster.
Thicker than a sticker. Yeah, she is.
She is definitely dominant. The problem with that fight was, though, I think it was a softball fight for her. Homegirl, I'm terrible with names, but other girl had 2 years off.
Right.
She had a great fight when Zhang Weili had her first fall, was the one where she got her head all lumped up.
Right.
She took 2 years off to recover. You throw her back in for a rematch for somebody who's been fighting to get back to her belt.
To get to that.
To get back to her belt. 2 years off. Like, it's a softball fight. You humiliated that fighter. Yeah, she retired. She had a great career, but you humiliated her as a.
So here's my question to you then.
What's that?
Rose. We talked about Rose, and we're very disappointed in her title.
Oh, that last fight was terrible.
It was horrible.
Terrible.
So she's got to be angry anyway.
I
feel like she has to fight Young Wei Li or whatever the hell her
Zhang
name is. Zhang Wei Li.
Get back
to get to that title shot.
I think the next fight should be her, Zhang Wei Li,
and Rose.
Yes, and then they get to the winner of that gets back to
who wins that fight?
Zhang Wei Li.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I said the same thing.
Zhang Wei Li.
She looks different, yo. She looks different.
I appreciate Rose as a champion. She made it to that point. I'm glad in her confidence, but when she comes out, she's always so unsure of herself.
Yes.
This last fight was a perfect example. You've been in there, you banged, you're a champion, you're defending your belt, and you were too scared to get hit. You just wanted to play it safe. Both fighters did, don't get me wrong. And we talked about the swing and the judges. Judges should have gave it to the champion in the old rules, but they showed like, hey, we're not putting up with this. So I think Zhang Wei Li 100%.
I think she wins too. Let me ask you one more question, because on the last Raw episode, my man Ryan Swole Daddy, UFC expert, was talking all kinds of stuff. He's giving us knowledge, though. I appreciate it. He said Conor McGregor's making a comeback, doing some things. He said that he would beat my boy that had to give up his belt for being overweight or whatever.
Oliveira, but he still holds, right? It's like it's open.
If they fought, who would you pick?
All right.
Oliveira.
Right. And again, this goes back. Look, McGregor's he's a money drawer. He was a great fighter, but you're talking years off the game. The game moves so much faster than the fight game. And you got guys out there now that are coming in, getting UFC shots, and they've got 22 fights under their belt before they get to the UFC.
Just like this guy Yuri.
Right. 2 years off the game. Yes, McGregor's a big draw. Yes, he may have like some phenomenal one-punch knockout, but I think if the fight gets into an attrition and it gets down to war, we're in the trenches, there's no way that he's going to survive with 2 years off. The game imagine if you played professional football, took 2 years off and try to step back on opening day.
I was about to cut the show off. Now you start some more shit.
Let's go.
What about Colin Kaepernick? He done took off like 13, 14, 18 years. Derrick Carr, who just got a new contract. He got Devontae Adams,
right?
And he's got his other receiver got extension.
Yeah.
He said Colin Kaepernick would fit great and he'd be good friends with him. Is Colin Kaepernick going to be back in the NFL?
You can't take away from athleticism, right? You can't take away from an athlete. You got to that point. I'm not going to take anything away from the man. He got to that point, whether you agree with
he can still play there.
Honestly, you'd have to see it. I can't buy it.
He's shown it.
Where?
Well, in practice.
We
talk about practice.
Let's just be real. You get on the field and it moves a little different. It moves a little different when you're playing against guys that played the last 13 Sundays.
Are you watching preseason football games?
100.
Would you really watch a preseason game with Colin Kaepernick being the quarterback?
I think it draws. I definitely think it's a draw.
It draws.
And the NFL, the NFL is all about money these days. I think it draws. The problem is, as a coach, do you want to touch that? Do you want to bring this into your organization?
Why not? Think about who the coach is for the Raiders. Josh McDaniels. Who did he draft when he was a head coach at one time? He left the Patriots for 2 years?
Right.
For the Denver Broncos. Who did he draft with the last pick in the NFL draft? Tim Tebow. Who wasn't supposed to be drafted nowhere.
But look at what a bust that was. Look at what a bust.
But he won a playoff game.
He did win a playoff game, but at the end.
So why would he take a skill set like Colin Kaepernick?
Honestly, I'd love to see it. I want to see the man. Like, look, Stephen A. Smith said it. Like, he's like, why would anybody touch it? He's not a big fan of the guy. Like, there's a lot of controversy that follows him.
Brandon hates this much.
Let's see what it's about. If you're really that good,
why not?
Let's see what it's about. Like, put him with a team that's got nothing to lose. Let's see what happens.
Why not? These backup quarterbacks nowadays, you don't know what the hell they are. I mean, look at quarterbacks that ain't got a team right now, like Baker Mayfield. Shit, I'll take Baker Mayfield right now over every quarterback I got in my locker room.
But you also draw a lot of, there's a lot that comes with that when it comes to cohesion. It comes to how that person guides the team. Like
you're talking to a guy that's a Washington fan.
Oh, I'm a Miami fan. Brandon, big shout out to my man Brandon.
Yes, Brandon. He's happy this year.
Yo, hey, we're like third receiving core right now. We got a nasty squad right
Who's
now.
gonna throw it to y'all though? Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I don't want to get down.
As a Washington fan, the owners out here going to Senate, Congress meetings and everything else. We got defensive coordinators having racial situations. We got rape issues. We got all kinds of issues. Baker Mayfield can just slide in the door. Nobody would even know.
Right. Like you're right.
Nobody's even know Baker Mayfield.
You can even slide Colin Kaepernick right in there.
Nobody's even thinking about Baker Mayfield. We got all kinds of allegations going on everywhere.
But again, the problem is you can show it in practice, but how much are these guys out there on, yes, you're practicing with your coaches, you're practicing with your personal trainers, but how often are they really getting a look? How often are they really getting a snap out there on the field? And it changes. Game speed is everything.
It does.
You and I have talked about this. You could be fast on paper. You could be great on paper.
Yeah.
Once you hit the field, if you've ever played football, the game speed changes.
Yeah, my son sucked in the 40-yard dash. He couldn't run for shit.
On
Like game
field?
time.
Nasty.
So he ain't done yet. Anyway.
So we'll see.
We'll see what's going on with that.
I mean, we'll see. I think it's a publicity stunt either way for it.
But I mean, he ain't got a team. And I'm sitting here as a team with no quarterback. I mean, ain't had a quarterback.
You guys are on an uphill battle all this.
But I mean, are you happy with Tua as a Dolphin fan?
Absolutely not. Absolutely.
So here's my question to you then.
We running close on time.
Right now.
Yes.
You have a solid squad right now.
100% the best moves this franchise has ever made since I've been a fan.
If you could just use one of those Men in Black vapors to make everybody's mind go away, and you can substitute Baker Mayfield in place of Tua, would you do it?
Yeah, I mean, you and I've talked. I was never a fan of the Tua move. I thought it was a B-rated quarterback, retreaded, hurt during college, and it started to show. And I mean, that's just been
Bama, George T. He's talking about Bama.
That's not going to be a popular opinion for a lot of Dolphins fans. I just don't think the guys got it. We could have made some better moves. I mean, we had a shot at a lot of people, and we took him. And it was just, as a fan, I'll leave it at that.
I mean, Tua, Jalen Hurts, Carson Wentz, they have to show everything this year, or they might be not in the NFL or not as a starter ever again. I mean, really, honestly.
No, you're right.
Carson Wentz, you have to show. Jalen Hurts, your team is loaded for Philadelphia. If you don't show up, Tua, they spent money.
We gave up a lot. We had a lot of opportunities for better quarterbacks.
If you don't show up,
you
know what I mean? Deshaun Watson wanted to go to the Dolphins.
We had a chance at
Deshaun Watson.
No. Don't get me started. Don't get me started.
We running along. That's only because we're trying to hype everything up for Saturday.
100.
We will have everybody in there. 100 episodes. Did I do that right?
100. Everybody show up. Come out, show some support to my man, local sports legend right here.
Baby, so hype.
We got a lot of people showing up.
It's gonna be big time storylines. Big time story.
Thank you for having me for the first time.
Hey man, definitely my man.
It's my brother right here. Man. True fan right here.
Yo, check us out. Come out. Check out the first Facebook page that Tommy's running. He's doing a great job. Sign in. Subscribe. The merchandise is everywhere. I mean, I've been making so many shirts. I don't even know what the hell I'm doing. Podcast. Listen to it anyway to work while you're traveling, whatever. We taking on all comers. If you want to join in on the debate, Saturday's the perfect time. We're doing live. We gonna see all your comments and we can talk about everything. Because you Fro Legend, you ain't getting no more chances, son. You out of here. You a softie and you're out of here, Jufro Legend. I gave you a shout out. You can put it on your podcast, but I'm talking negative about you, son. Rellism Sports Talk episode 99. We are finishing up. Thank you for everybody involved in making Saturday happen. Can't wait. My love for my brother stepping in for me, helping me out. My mom's in the background. Love y'all. Thank y'all. Peace out.